ethical failure of the year, the 9/12 protests in D.C., completely organic. Except for this person here, egging on the crowd to make more noise. She happens to be a Fox News Channel associate producer. How did ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, and CNN miss this story? Actually, we all covered it. We just got out of your way, Rupert, once we saw you were fabricating it. Oh, and the Value Voters Summit on Friday gave Billo a Media Courage Award, and neither he nor the voters had the courage to allow the media in. What values does he represent exactly? Blaming kidnapping? Fix News claims the other networks missed covering the 9/12 gathering in Washington. It's a lie, but even if it were true, perhaps it would have been because we didn't want to get in the way of Fox's staging of their own event. Meanwhile, Bill O'Reilly gets a Media Courage Award, and so courageous is Bill O'Reilly, the media was not allowed to cover his acceptance speech. In our third story in the countdown, these and other ethical failings brought to you by Cluster Fox. We begin with the already embellished, corporate-funded 9/12 event, the Road Rage poster convention that Lonesome Rhodes backed through but did not bother to attend personally. After the inflated lies about just how many ordinary Americans attended, with Lonesome citing the estimate of 11 billion by the very reputable University of I don't remember, it turns out it was not just the numbers that were made up. Much of the rage itself was also manufactured. Video now of a Fixed News associate producer egging on the crowd surrounding junior stalker / producer Griff Jenkins, perhaps mistaking the protesters for a studio audience at Springer. The video shows that AP in the green there, Heidi Noonan on a cell phone urging the group standing behind Jenkins to cheer louder. Fixed News blaming the incident on the producer's youth and inexperience, telling the Huffington Post she's been disciplined. Meanwhile, even somebody at Fox was ashamed enough to have leaked an internal email from managing editor Bill Salmon. S-A-M-M-O-N. As journalists, we must always be careful to cover the story without becoming part of the story. That news events were supposed to function as dispassionate observers, not I'm sorry, not active participants. We are there to chronicle the news, not create it. No. And again, we're journalists, not participants, and certainly not performers. You didn't really explain, though, why if it was all her fault, she was on a cell phone, and I couldn't imagine it was to anybody besides her office since they were alive, and they probably could hear her deliberately staging the news before they took the live report from the news actor, but that's just a note. The War Room propaganda campaign continues, this time in the form of one-page ads placed in Friday's Washington Post and the Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal and New York Post. The ad brags that Fixed News was the only network to cover their own manufactured event. The problem with that claim, the video that exists of all the other networks also covering the event.
I'm joined now live from Washington by WRC reporter Derek Ward.
MSNBC covered the event. Meanwhile, NBC's Tom Costello filed a report on the event for Nightly News. ABC, CBS, CNN were all there, too. Maybe the ad meant, how come the other networks missed the opportunity to manufacture the news? Meanwhile, the Family Research Council hosting its Values Voters Summit over the weekend, a veritable jamboree, giving platforms to the likes of Carrie Prejean and Michelle Bachmann. That's your future, Carrie. And look who else showed up. Why, it's the senior stalker producer of Fixed News, Jesse Waters, who found himself questioned by the very people he stalked earlier in the year after having followed Amanda Turkle of Think Progress for several hours earlier this year. Think Progress found little Jesse in return and held him accountable for his ambush tactics.
You said that the reason you do ambush interviews are to get answers from people who aren't willing to come on and answer the questions on the O'Reilly factor. But she said she was never asked to come on the show.
No. Who is it? Is this guy? I mean, so you're from Think Progress?
I'm a coworker of hers.
Oh, okay. And you're trying to ask me why she wasn't contacted?
Yes, because you said that the reason we do ambush interviews are to get answers from people.
We called her office.
She said she got no call.
Yeah, no, I called her office twice.
Who in the office did you call?
Called the main number.
At the same event, little Jesse's boss was awarded the summit's first ever Media Courage Award. So courageous was Billo, the event was closed off to the media. The Family Research Council, in its explanation of the award, we want to express our gratitude to a culture warrior who uses his national platform to promote life, no matter what the personal or professional costs, especially life with 2 or more women. I think the cost was $10 million for that. Or life when it's spent asking, who will rid me of this meddlesome Tiller the Killer? And bang, suddenly a doctor is assassinated, and the award recipient winds up playing Captain Renault in Casablanca and is shocked that the guy he wanted dead is dead. Nevertheless, blogger Mike Stark was not only able to infiltrate the closed O'Reilly event, he managed to list some of Billo's values out loud, values involving loofahs. Stark was led out of the event by security, although video taken by another attendee shows Billo felt more than a little threatened by Mr. Stark's remarks. Incredibly, it gets worse tonight. Glenn Beck is trying to turn September 28th into a day of fast and prayer for his 9/12 teabaggers. See, September 28th is already a day of fast and prayer. I think that's what it says on the calendar. Our winner, Lonesome Rhodes Beck. Oh, he stepped in it this time. On Saturday, he got it into his brain that this tweet would be a good idea. September 28th, let's make it a day of fast and prayer for the Republic. Spread the word. Let us walk in the founders' steps. September 28th. I'm not Jewish, but isn't that the full day of Yom Kippur? Beck went further today. September 28th is the Day of Atonement for the Jewish faith, and I thought it would be a good day for all of us to fast and pray, you know? And I got this idea from Thomas Jefferson. He's dead, by the way. After they put together the Continental Congress, the first thing they did was put together a national day of fast and prayer, and I thought the Day of Atonement would be a good day to do it. So you want to politicize Yom Kippur, or preempt Yom Kippur, or co-op Yom Kippur, or when some of the Beckerheads out there, they fast and prayer for the Republic to honor the founders, and Glenn goes to count them and say how many there were from the University of I don't remember. He'll add in all the Jewish people who also just happen to be fasting on September 28th. Maybe he'll get a producer to go out to the synagogues and try to whoop up the Observant a little bit. Oh dear. Bye, Glenn. Glenn doesn't quite understand the whole religious thing. Beck, today's worst person in the world. Tomorrow will be worse.